This budget deck can easily beat the big meta decks. Today we are looking at Aeropod, that's Aerodactyl, with Golisopod, which can deal a ton of damage from a non-GX, non-V Pokemon. We have Aerodactyl with Fossil Fangs. It deals 90 damage, plus an extra 90 if we have no GX and no EX Pokemon on our bench. 180 for 3 energy is really, really strong. We also have Golisopod, which for 2 energy deals 30 damage, plus 50 more for every Pokemon V and Pokemon GX on our opponent's side of the field. We can get our Aerodactyls into play really quickly with Pokemon Research Lab. We use this stadium to get 2 Aerodactyls into play. Our turn ends, but that's okay. If we get it on the first turn, that's super, super good, and we can do that by using 4 copies of Stellar Wish Jirachi. We try and find that stadium early, get our Aerodactyls into play. All in all, the deck is pretty simple. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. The list is there as well. Let's get into some gameplay. We have ourselves a decent start here. Pokemon Research Lab in the hand is pretty good. We'll attach the twin and then use the stadium, grab ourselves our 2 Aerodactyls. I don't know what we're playing against here. This could be ADP Zacian, or it could also be Lucario Melmetal. Both of those are okay matchups for us. We're going to want to use Aerodactyl as our main attacker early, and then try and clean up with Wimpod later. ADP Zacian, it's probably better for us if they are playing that, because they're more likely to play down more Vs and GXs. Obviously, that will be a significant win for us. A Porygon is a little bit interesting, though. I'm not going to lie, that is not what I was expecting. Cottony, okay, so we're playing Whimsicott. Ignore anything that I just said, because none of it is relevant anymore. We are playing against Whimsicott. Zacian and DAA in play means that our Golisopod will be dealing 130 damage, minus 20 to this Zacian thanks to resistance, so we can at least get 110 damage on it. The DAA on the bench is also a target for a knockout as well, which is good for us. We've got the Golisopod, we'll move that into the active, and then we're going to have to just Marnie. We're hoping to find some Wimpods to put on the bench. If we can, that would be great. There's a Wimpod for us. We also have a Jirachi, which is nice, but no supporter. We might need to switch into the Jirachi next turn. We're just going to hard time slash here, deal that 110 damage, and hopefully our opponent can't... Only 100? Why is it only 100? Oh, because Zacian's got minus 30 resistance. Okay, well now we're hoping that they play down another V or GX, because I was under the impression that we were about to take a knockout there. And we're not, so that's disappointing. They're just going to Intrepid Sword. Alright, so my mistake. I mean, we could use the Zigzagoon, or we could just use this triple colorless that we just top decked to get the knockout with Fossil Fangs. I don't mind that at all. Our problem here will be that we've actually left our Aerodactyl in the active with no way to retreat. Luckily, we found a Scoop Up Net and also a Marnie, which is going to be really, really big. I get the feeling that our opponent is going to use Whimsicott GX's Toy Box GX attack here to try and fill their hand up with cards that they need, which frankly is a pretty good attack, but I'm not too worried about it. If we can Marnie them away, that would be good. That would be pretty nice. I'd be happy with that. So they're Pokecom in here. I'm guessing they're going to go for the Whimsicott. There's the Whimsicott. So again, that puts us with 2 GX Pokemon in play. Our Golisopod's dealing 190. Aerodactyl can actually get a knockout on this Whimsicott with the Zigzagoon, but we do need to flip through the Fluffy Cotton ability. Fluffy Cotton obviously means that whenever you attack into the Whimsicott player flips a coin, and I believe if it's heads, they take no damage. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that one. Okay, so they're going for the Toy Box, as we suspected, so they're going to grab 5 cards out of the deck. We don't care what cards they are, because we've got Marnie in hand. We're going to remove them from their hand instantly. And the best thing about playing Marnie is not only are those 5 cards no longer in their hand, they're on the bottom of the deck. We know that those are cards that our opponent wants. We can actually go into the Jirachi here. This is very good. Stellar Wish finds us a whole bunch of stuff. I think it might be good to just go with a Quick Ball here. Maybe we just Marnie away like the Research Lab, because we don't really care about that. It's not too much of an issue for us. We don't really care. Let's scoop up the Jirachi. We'll put our Golisopod in the active. Let's play down the Jirachi again. We'll play the Lab, and then I think we probably just Marnie. We don't really need Zigzagoon just yet. We'll shuffle our hand to the bottom of the deck and grab ourselves some extra cards, and more importantly, remove the Toy Box GX cards from our opponent, and they've just conceded. They're not willing to even risk it from there. Well, I think that counts as a win. Alright, Jirachi start this time. Very good. Plus an unidentified fossil in hand, plus a quick ball, so we can find ourselves another Wimpod if we like. A Crobat start from our opponent doesn't really give us much information, but you know what? I'd really be happy if this is Eternatus. We actually get the research lab off of the Jirachi, so we can get ourselves 2 Aerodactyls in play here, and this is almost the perfect start. Double Wimpod, a fossil, double Aerodactyl. We have an Aerodactyl in our hand, and a Marnie, which means that we're set and ready to go. Whatever happens next turn, we are going to be able to do something. Best case scenario, our opponent benches, it is Eternatus, okay. Best case scenario, they bench a ton of Vs, and we can take knockouts with Golisopod. Otherwise, we have Aerodactyl as a potential attacker, which could take a knockout on Crobat. So it deals 180 damage, so hopefully that Crobat stays in the active and we can knock that out. But, you know, I would be happy with a knockout either way. The problem with Aerodactyl, of course, is that we have to use the triple acceleration energy. Obviously, Golisopod can use the twin or the triple acceleration energy to attack. Aerodactyl kind of gets stuck a little bit, seeing as there's only 4 energy that we can use in the deck. And since we are only looking at 4 or 5 cards with Marnie, we may miss an attack this turn. But to be honest, it's not that big of a deal. Eternatus needs to take 6 knockouts against us to win, and for them to set up, they need to fill a board up with Pokemon, which means we're going to get lots of value out of Golisopod anyway. So, feeling pretty good here. They've played down 4 V cards, which means that now Golisopod will be able to knock out this Crobat, which is good news for us. It'll be dealing 230 damage, which is incredible for 1 energy attachment. So now we've at least got some flexibility. We find Great Catcher off of the top deck, not particularly useful. Let's go for Aerodactyl, and then we can Marnie. Hopefully we find an energy of some description. No energy, which is disappointing. We do have the Golisopod. We may choose to just hold on to that, though. Let's grab a fossil out of there. We don't really need that so much. I'm thinking let's just evolve this Golisopod. It's fine. If they knock it out, they knock it out. It's not a problem. So we missed an attack, but like I said, it doesn't really matter too much, because Eternatus is going to play a ton of Pokemon down anyway, and they have to take 6 knockouts. We are not planning on playing any Vs this game at all. Crobat and Eldegoss can stay in our hand. We do not want our opponent to be able to take more than 1 prize a turn. If we force Eternatus to take 6 prizes, that's attack 6 times, then we should be in a pretty solid spot. I would not be upset with that at all. We have we've got a pretty good setup here. We're looking pretty good. As long as everything goes our way. Jirachi we can scoop up and get it out of the active. If we need to, we can Marnie to try and find some cards. Looks like they've got a switch, which is pretty good. And a quick ball, not particularly useful for them here. A Veltal out of the deck. Maybe they're just looking to thin before going for... Oh no, they're looking for a Pokemon so that they can Pokemon communication it away. I'm going to grab themselves an Eternatus VMAX here, which is fine by me. If they actually play down any more of their V cards this turn, that could have been really good for us. We would have been able to get a little bit more damage onto this VMAX, but you know what? 230 is more than enough from my point of view, so we're good to go here. I'll just play the Marnie. We won't play the Fossil. If we miss energy, we can at least research lab for that last Aerodactyl, but oh my goodness, we missed energy again. What do we do now? I think we just play the Wimpod down and then switch into an Aerodactyl, because I don't really mind if Aerodactyl gets knocked out. I want our Golisopods to stay in the field of play as long as possible, but that's very disappointing. I would have preferred to have gotten an attack off there. That's disappointing. Disappointing to say the very least. But it's going to be okay. Just a second, I've got my cat scratching my door. Just give me 2 secs. Hey, what are you doing? You come to play some Pokemon, have you? Everyone liked you in the last video. You can stay in here with me for a bit. I'm just going to close the door again. Here we go. Alright. Sorry about that. We are back at it. Yeah, I know. Now that she's in here, she doesn't know what to do. We see a dangerous drill. How many? They've got 5 things. It's 280 damage. If they put down one more V Pokemon, we can actually knock this Eternatus out, I think. Which is pretty impressive, frankly. Oh no, we'd be 10 damage short. We need to find Zigzagoon. Alright, let's hard time slash this turn. We need some energy, so let's research. We found energy, and we've found it in abundance, which is great. We'll play down the Golisopod. We've got a fossil, which we can put down if we want, or a Jirachi. I feel like the fossil's probably better. We're at a point where we just need to continue attacking, and then we can attack with Golisopod, which is pretty solid. 280 damage is good. Next turn, we can get a knockout with Aerodactyl. We've just played down another V. If we can find a Gust, we can actually knock out that Eternatus on the bench very easily. So we might consider doing that. They've flipped heads on Crushing Hammer, which is... Well, it would be annoying if they weren't about to just knock this out anyway. We're going to lose that energy regardless, so we may as well just have it flipped again. Have that energy flipped away. Just come in here and make as much noise as you like, Bucket. That's fine. I'm sure the people don't mind. What have we got? Everything's looking pretty good. We're still in a good position, even though they've taken 2 prizes, well 3 prizes before we do. We're about to even it up. So we're about to attack with Aerodactyl and even it up here. And yeah, as long as everything works out to our advantage, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Let's Marnie reduce their hand. That means we need to find another energy next turn, but we should be able to relatively easily. There's a quick ball that can help us find Zigzagoon if we need it. I think it's probably fine to just quick ball away the research lab here and grab the... maybe we just don't grab anything, actually. I might grab the Zigzagoon just in case. And then we can Fossil Fang, take the knockout. That's 3 prizes for us. We are even on prizes with one of the best decks in the game. And that Evo Instance is very good, as is that Twin Energy. Professor's Research, we obviously already had one. Let's think here. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V Pokemon on the bench, which is 250 damage, plus 30 is 280. If they play down one more, we can get the knockout. So hopefully they go for one more. They do not. That is disappointing. What we might do, though, is we might... I mean, we can promote Golisopod here because we can find another one with Evo Incense. That Aerodactyl top deck is pretty good. Let's have a think here. I might actually discard this fossil, just get rid of it. We don't really need it so much. Let's just thin out our deck a little bit. This Golisopod is incredibly good for us. We can play that down, gives us another attacker for 2 energy. We can attach to the active and knock that out if we want to. We can get rid of the Aerodactyl and grab ourselves Crobat, because we don't... Actually, let's grab Jirachi. We'll just thin it out. And then we can just research the hand away here. Oh, actually, what we should have done is we should have used the Zigzagoon. That's okay. Zigzagoon would have knocked out the active, and we would have been able to knock out another we wouldn't have won the game anyway, but dang, that's frustrating. We're just gonna have to hard time slash this Spiritomb here. We have the triple acceleration energy, we have an attacker, we have Lysander as well for next turn, or Boss's Orders Lysander, I should say. So we should go on to win this game regardless, but now we've left ourselves open to a Marnie play, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's going to be fine. I'm not worried. It's going to be fine. I'm genuinely concerned. What are they doing here? They're going for a... Did they just play down a Crobat but not use its ability? Looks like they did. They've just attacked us. Okay, we go on to win anyway. It's not a problem. We can promote either Golisopod or Aerodactyl here. We have the energy. We have the boss. It is all good. Just make sure we click the right thing. Crobat, hard time slash, takes the knockout. We just beat Eternatus with Aeropod. It's pretty impressive. I'm happy with that. We'll play one more game, I reckon. One last game. We've got a Jirachi start, which is good, and also we are up against Colossal. So this should be relatively good for us. Colossal V and VMAX are weak to grass, which means that our Golisopods should be able to put in a lot of work here. If they end up playing 3 Vs down, ends up going to 180, which means that 180 times 2 is 360, which should be plenty to knock out a Colossal V. Surfetched V is weak to Psychic, which is unfortunate. But it's going to give us a multiplier, which is good. And if they go for another V here, then we'll be in great shape. And there's a Crobat. So looking pretty solid. A DAA. They may just give us a pretty easy knockout straight away. I think the hardest thing for us is going to be getting the Wimpods down, frankly. We've got a research in hand plus a research lab, so we are a-okay. There's 230 damage for our Golisopods, so if we can get Wimpods down, we should be in a good spot. Are they going to put another Colossal down for us? Please play down that Colossal. Rotom Phone. You're going to play the Colossal down for me? Are ya? No, it doesn't look like he's going to. Okay, no worries. So, from here, we play the Research Lab down. We are going to probably use Stellar Wish. An unidentified fossil seems like a solid choice. We can put that into play, and then I kind of want to hold on to this energy, so let's Marnie. Could have researched there, but I like the idea of keeping the double colorlesses alive. We have a Wimpod in hand, plus another Jirachi. If we want, we can go into that Jirachi, and I feel like that's probably not worth doing. We'll just go for the Aerodactyl here. We can save the scoop up for next turn. The weakness of this play is that our opponent could potentially gust up the Wimpod and remove one of our attackers next turn, which is kind of unfortunate. But we've reduced their hand size enough that maybe we are going to be alright. But yeah, that Wimpod is obviously a massive target for our opponent. Aerodactyl is good. Boss's Orders is not necessarily required here. I would much prefer see a Research. Although now if we top deck Energy, we can actually get a knockout with Aerodactyl. So that's pretty good. If we top deck a triple Acceleration Energy, we can gust up either Crobat or DAA and knock that out with Aerodactyl if we want to. They're attaching to Colossal VMAX. Do they have the VMAX? They're mining to try and find it. That means that we're going to get a fresh set of 4, which is good because our hand before wasn't... Oh my goodness, it's just energy. Alright. This then could be quite awkward. The question is, do we go for the Jirachi or do we go for the Aerodactyl? If we go for Jirachi, then we might be able to find a supporter, but that supporter might be Research, which would mean we'd need to lose a lot of energy. We could promote the Wimpod to get the Golisopod off the top deck, but I think it is safer to just go for Aerodactyl here. We are at least guaranteed some damage, but it's not going to be a lot. We've got that fighting energy that's going to reduce damage by 20. 160 is nothing to sneeze at, but it is very awkward for us right now. We kind of need to find a Research. Good thing though is that because the Aerodactyl has put some damage down, that the Golisopod will guaranteed get the knockout. I mean, it was guaranteed to anyway because of our opponent's board state, but gives us a little bit more flexibility. And this hand is much better. This hand is much better for us in the scheme of, can we get a knockout with Wimpod and Golisopod this turn? We're going to be able to get another Wimpod down, which is really good. Hopefully we find an energy. I think we promote Jirachi. That seems like the smart thing to do. We've got plenty of opportunities to get ourselves a knockout. Let's grab Wimpod. If we want, we can go for a Crobat here to try and guarantee some energy. I feel like Wimpod is better though, just to get ourselves extra attackers. It's kind of similar to the Eternatus matchup. As long as we attack with a Golisopod, we should be fine. We found Incense and energy, so if we grab the Golly here, we can evolve. Let's see if we get a switch. We do. We get the scoop up net, so we're going to see a knockout on this Colossal this turn, which is beautiful stuff. We can get a knockout with Golisopod. We also have Evo Incense in hand, which means we're guaranteed another Golisopod next turn. We are just hoping that we can find some energy. Hopefully we can get some off of the prizes here. 540 damage with Golisopod with Hard Time Slash, which is pretty gosh darn good. If you don't mind me saying, we've found a Golisopod off of the prizes, which is also good, and an energy. Okay, so now we're pretty set. In fact, we may be able to just find Eldegoss and boss up that Colossal if we have it in the discard pile. We've got everything that we need, realistically. So yeah, this is looking like a pretty good time for us. They are using Eldegoss now. I wonder... Oh, they're going to Marnie. Okay, so that's fine. So we don't need to think about this hand anymore. We're likely to find energy because there's still lots of energy in the deck. I'm just worried about getting our Golisopods out. That's going to be a little bit tough for us. We found Twin Energy. And we also have Jirachi. So we could potentially find a supporter off of that, which is good. I'm also assuming that they knock out with their Colossal this turn. If they don't knock us... Actually, even if they attack us, they can only do 120 damage. I don't think it's actually feasible for them to attack with Colossal this turn. Because if they attack with Colossal, don't they just lose? Because they can only do 120, can't they? Or is it 130? I can never remember. Well, I mean, we're about to find out. Here comes the Eruption Shot. It does knock out. It's 130. I forgot. 170? Oh, because of the dojo. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, this is why you're here, right? For the top quality gameplay. Actually, so someone who knows what's going on. Let's promote Jirachi. Hopefully we can find something to work with here. We've got ourselves a Stellar Wish opportunity. Let's grab a... Oh, we've got the research. We had the boss as well. Boss doesn't win us the game, though. We can attach the Twin. We can scoop up the Jirachi. We are going all in here with the Wimpod. We're going to try and just get this knockout. We'll replace the lab just in case. And then research. We just need a Golisopod. If we get that, we win the game. We didn't get that. We do not win the game. Let's do some thinning. We can get rid of the Jirachi off of the Quick Ball. Grab Crobat. That might be able to draw us some cards. We could actually go into Jirachi here. We could switch into Jirachi and try and get a Evo Incense with Stellar Wish. Evo Incense. Nice. Okay, so now we're going to be able to find the game. We Evo Incense for Golisopod. We evolve into Golisopod. We scoop up the Jirachi and then take the knockout on Colossal. We got there in the end. It took a little bit of time, but Hard Time Slash is going to come through for us. 560 damage. Thank you very much for coming, Colossal. Aeropod's pretty good. So we are moving swiftly along on the OG 150 challenge. We've just ticked off Aerodactyl. Brilliant stuff. Plenty more to go, so keep watching if you want to see more like this video. And that means that it will pop up on your feed every time it happens. So give it a like. See how you go. And whilst I'm here, a massive thanks to our members, especially to the people on the screen. Victor Dadbod, Fernando, Connor, Dario, and YOLO for the win, who are members of the higher tiers on the channel. Appreciate it. There's a join button down below if you'd like to support the channel as well. Thank you everyone for coming, and hopefully I see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.